It's time for Sports on the Bayou, a detailed account of the sports scene in Louisiana. Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury will break down the weekly Saints game, brought to you by the American flag, as well as the St. Martin and Bourke weekly LSU breakdown. Harry McCullough will bring us the Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Lafourche Parish segment, featuring key games of local interest. Dr. Pat, our favorite ENT, is always on top of the
asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions? Making statements.
Stan Gravois will bring us local pertinent medical sports information as well as high school sports. Martin False, that's me, will open up the mics in the crowd to see what's on the fans' mind. More talk and plenty of audience questions. Live from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, it's time for Sports on the Bayou. And here's Mike Detillier.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier, along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert. Rich Morty back from, he said it was Paris, France, but it's really Colorado.
Voulez-vous boncher?
There you go.
Comment allez-vous?
And the young ladies from E.D. White. So we'll be back with a lot more Sports on the Bayou right after this break.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bourke and Hoffa's Duval are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bourke and Hoffa's Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Curtis Colley Welding has been providing contract labor for the offshore oil and gas industry for over 28 years. Curtis Colley Welding is now hiring. All applicants must have a TWIC card and be able to pass an occupational medical exam and a drug screen. Triple C Towing has a fleet of 2 inland tugs to provide service for the oil and gas industry. All vessels are provided with experienced personnel, and we do what we say we will do. Curtis Colley Welding, now hiring, and Triple C Towing, ready to work.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. Saints Buffalo last Thursday on Thanksgiving night. I mean, come on, the Saints weren't in this football game at all. They got beat 31-6. The score was no indication of the dominance of Buffalo. And to be honest, Bobby, if they pull another one like this coming Thursday, our chances of cashing in a postseason check is done.
I'm not going to give up because of the strength of schedule. Now, Mike, I don't know. You look at like it's an NFL team, and you look where the Dolphins are at. You look at Carolina. You look at Atlanta. Our schedule is favorable to close out now. You got to play Tampa Bay again. But, Mike, it's favorable. I even said this. I thought we could be 6-6. And even 7-7, and there's still light at the end of the tunnel because of the schedule to close out the season.
Yeah, but we ain't 6-6.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. Again, if we lose to Dallas,
that makes it really difficult. You got no margin for error.
It makes it difficult, but you can't lose to the damn Jets. Now, you might lose to them, and then you got the Dolphins on Monday night.
Are you looking around the league? Everybody's beating anybody.
No, right now it looks like best case scenario 9-8.
At best.
At best, and that might be good enough to get you in the postseason.
Maybe.
You don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
No, I think a 9-8 team might. I don't know if it'll be the Saints. But
So wait, if you're 9-8, you look at the tiebreaker. So what if we would beat a team like the Jets, Dolphins, Falcons, and then Carolina, then you have 9 wins.
Yeah.
So it's not that complicated. Now,
it's not, but you got to win them 4 games.
You know what
yeah, you got to win them because I think it's an upset if we beat Dallas, even though I hate the Cowgirls.
And Tampa again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's difficult.
You know, we talked about this right in the beginning of the year. We've got a great front line, and with any injuries at all, we'd be scrambling, and that's exactly where we are right now, scrambling to try to keep pace.
Your first string unit can compete with anyone, but man, after you get after that, you can't win with no Kamara, no Ramczyk. You know, Michael Thomas is out.
He killed him. Michael Thomas, I think, was the biggest disappointment. He killed that receiver.
And now you're facing a deal with Deontay Harris, going to miss 3 games. So who are you going to throw to?
He has to miss 3 games.
He's got to miss it.
Because the collective bargaining agreement, DUI, you have to miss 3 games. It's not negotiable, even though he's never been in trouble before. That's just the way it is. But I can tell you, looking at Dallas, Mike, this is why I'm for the under with the Dallas Saints game. Because the last 2 times the Saints have played the Cowgirls, you know what the score was? This is like, what, the 60s, 12-10 and 13-10. The foot, you got to go.
Yeah, Hebert had that already. He can tell you about it.
You got to go.
Josh Allen,
but you got to go.
Back to pass and gets intercepted. The Saints got the turnovers they needed in the first half to actually still keep it close, 10-0. But, man, Josh Allen, when he needed to, this ball gets popped up. Well, that would have been a score. That was a great play by Quan to come up with that interception because they look as though they were going to score late in the second quarter. But, man, here comes the tsunami in the third and fourth quarters. Trey, at least he gets a completion there. The Marquez Callaway, Trevor Siemian, and back to pass. And, boy, you could see Buffalo's getting a lot of pressure. He throws it over the middle. Gets a completion, gets down to the 9-yard line, but this team really struggling.
Did we throw to a tight end? Did any tight end catch any balls?
There's a tight end right here.
Nick Vanette makes a catch here.
We need him to make that
That was about the end of the highlights for as that was concerned. The 2-point play, I knew as soon as they lined up, they weren't hitting this. Look at this one over the top here. And again, the receiver should have wheeled back. And Sean was trying to explain him that, but then picked off here. Jordan Poyer comes up with this. He's having a great season for the Buffalo Bills, down to the 44-yard line. The only thing real negative for Buffalo in that game, and I hated to see it happen because I know him real well, Tre'Davious White goes down with an ACL injury, lost for the year.
He knew he was hurt right away.
Well, you could tell. You could tell it was really bad for him. But, the Bills offensively, man, they can put some points up when they get it rolling. And they got the stud quarterback. And the Saints right now, you hope Taysom can put the jumper cables on this offense. But I think you got what you got.
If you got Kamara coming back, you got
that helps.
That's huge. I mean, at least he's got a target.
And Mark Ingram coming back.
Mark Ingram, Ramczyk's coming back. But
just need a receiver to step up.
But look at Dallas. I think this makes a difference. You're dealing with COVID. Mike McCarthy won't be coaching the team. Their starting right tackle, Terrence Steele, he's not playing. So they have a few coaches out, but that's the day and age we live in. You still got to rise above it. I know Jerry Jones thinks that, so what?
We got Kellen Moore, we got Dan Quinn, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times. And while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafouche.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South's Ambulatory Surgery Center offers patients advanced and innovative outpatient procedures using the latest technology and treatment options. The first of its kind in the region, this center provides our patients and their families with high-quality care in a convenient, comfortable, and safe environment at a lower cost. Trust your care to the cardiovascular care team you know and love at CIS. Learn more at cardio.com.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. A fitting ending to the season. Ed Orgeron gets that last win against Jimbo Fisher. And I do know one thing: if Ed had any eligibility left, he'd have suited up Saturday night. He was some pumped up about it, and man, that last drive to get it in there, because he does know that if everything would have been even, Scott Woodward really wanted to bring Jimbo Fisher to LSU. Jimbo made, in his own Jimbonese talk, so to speak, that confession 2 weeks ago. I'd be crazy to leave, but you never know what Jimbo ended up now, certainly with Brian Kelley. But man, to beat Texas A&M, you jumped on them quick, and then man, I got to give it to the defense, just hanging on.
Without a doubt, that's what I'm going to bring up. LSU's defense. Look at this, Rich. Set the tone for most of the game. Texas A&M put on his first 3 possessions. The Aggies gained 21 yards on 7 plays in the first quarter. That was all. Then you look at their offense. They came into the game with Spiller and Devon and all. They entered with a combined over 1,800 yards rushing. Both of them averaged more than 78 yards rushing per game. LSU held them to 76 yards combined. So the defense, it's amazing how the defense started playing better on the back end of the season.
Yeah, but I like Max Johnson. You got to give him credit, man. The guy gets sacked 6 times and then comes in and
if you watch the touchdown play, he gets whacked.
Yeah, he got the crap kicked out.
But in some of the other games, I think if Miles Brennan would have been in there, LSU wins. I think they win against Alabama.
And Arkansas.
They win against Arkansas.
And then they 8-4.
Might be right. Yeah.
And it's a different story of how you're looking at this season.
The kid is tough. I mean, I got him a lot of credit. I mean, he's a tough kid, and
that offensive line. Brian Kelley better fix that real quick, because you might see the same thing next year.
Some of those big boys from up north.
Max back to pass, feeling a little bit of pressure, but hits it over the middle. Malik Neighbors, 12 yards for a first down. And then Cade York clips it here, 50 yards, and he gets people some Velveeta cheese money here on that 50-yard or plus. And then Corey Kiner up the middle, 13 yards for a first down for the Tigers. And a guy who really played big in this game, Jeray Jenkins, makes this catch, pulls away, and gets the touchdown. Man, great for Jeray, who's been through a lot. His mom passed away during the season, and he's fought through it and really played pretty well since Butte's down. A&M, man, really nothing worked the first half for them offensively. They got a few things going, but they were feeling a lot of heat. They come up with this big play over the middle late in the second quarter for a touchdown. But, man, LSU's defense did a tremendous job. Then out in the flat.
This is a big play, 40 seconds left before the half. And to get this kind of touchdown, that's when Coach O really got emotional after they got this lead.
And so, okay, you got a big lead, 17-7, but you knew somewhere along the line with all that firepower A&M's got, they were going to make a run at it over the middle, wide open, makes a play, gets a key first down for the Aggies. But it stalls out. Settled for a field goal, man, and that kicker's pretty doggone good for A&M too. One thing I give Jimbo, he knows how to recruit. Win games is another story. But Tyron Davis-Price, man.
Tough kid.
Man, big run for him.
You look early in the season, no one thought he had a chance to get over 1,000 yards, Mike.
He did, and he did a lot of that on his own.
Right.
He had just 140 yards on 45 attempts. He averaged 3.1 yards per carry in the first 5 games. And look how he closed out. The next 7 games, he netted 853 yards. He rushed for an average of 122 yards a game over that stretch to conclude the season.
So now it's 20-17. A&M throws it out in the flat, gets a key first down. But you knew eventually he would get hot, and he did. But he was feeling a lot of pressure. Get him! It's one of them deals.
Oh,
but,
man.
You got to tackle.
Missed tackle.
That looked like the Auburn game. I mean, come on, get him down.
And so now, A&M, 24-20, LSU with about a minute left. Max Johnson steps up in the pocket, and this is a huge play to get a first down on a fourth down attempt to get it in, and then Max takes a shot. Jeray Jenkins gets it in there for the score.
I mean, he pushed off a little bit, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you don't call it, it don't really count, so to speak. You know, you get it. Rich, you can tell us about how you get that little subtle push. That referee, he's watching, but he doesn't see that arm extension.
We used to do a lot of that because it was a lot more physical back then when I played. I mean, most of you weren't born back then, but
they didn't call offensive pass interference as much as they do today.
No, you never saw rarely. I remember Ike Harris got one. We played Miami. We were
in the
0-8.
final play of this game.
The final play of the game, we scored a touchdown. We're 0-8, right? And this is going to be our big win. And we're jumping up like we just won the World Series. And they call an offensive pass interference, which was unheard of. And, of course, it was the way our season went anyway. We ended up 1-15.
Well,
we did beat the Jets, though. We beat the Jets.
But I can tell you what, as we go to the break, you look at Texas A&M. They joined the SEC.
Tell them about it, Bobby.
Okay, so what had Jimbo Fisher done? Okay, they beat Alabama. They only won 8 games, but he hadn't done anything. The LSU Tigers are now 5-0 in Tiger Stadium versus the Aggies since they joined the SEC in 2012.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duvall are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duvall help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Are you looking for a new or used vehicle? Well, come check us out at Barker Honda because we get new, updated inventory daily.
We're offering top dollar for your trade.
Give us the opportunity to buy your car.
We offer new and used financing.
Come check out our award-winning trucks.
For cars, trucks, SUVs, come check us out.
Our sales specialists can help find the vehicle just for you.
We're getting new inventory daily.
Come down and see us on Martin Luther King Boulevard in Holman. Always remember,
it's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, I'm going to throw it to you in the suite tonight.
Oh, yeah, man. Mom's sweet, and we're going to get to Mom in just a second. There you go, Rich Maury, blowing you kisses, Mom, like he does real well. But let's give it up for, first of all, naming sponsors who make a lot of this possible. We have Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, Cody and his gang out there, and we have the parish president, Archie Chesson. Give them a round of applause. We're going to come to Archie in a second. And we have St. Martin and Bork. Chuck Bork is here today representing his law firm. They're doing so much for the community. So thanks, Chuck, you and your law firm. We appreciate what y'all do for each and every one of us. All right. Doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that Edie White's having a pretty good year. We have the cross-country team up on the set. They're the state champs. Harry's going to get to two of the coordinators in a little bit. They're going to the finals. They're going to the finals, and I think they've moved the game to the 10th. Lester told me that. I'm holding him to it, so we're going to make sure
Don't put no money on what Lester tell you now. Come on.
Here's the thing. A lot of people have been asking me and Harry, you know, y'all played at Vanderbilt. The rivalry between you and Edie White was strong. But let me say this. When we're not in the finals, we always pull for Edie White. And I'm going to tell you why. Harry's dad was a coach at Thibodeau College, which later became Edie White. My mom went to Mount Carmel, which is Edie White. Let's look on the screen.
Oh,
that's Mama.
goodness.
She was the valedictorian at Mount Carmel. I took after my dad's side. It just quite didn't work out. But Mom, who was the principal back then?
Mother Immaculata.
Oh.
And she was good.
Was she tough?
She was tough, and boy, you better knew your P's and Q's because she let you have it.
She wasn't like Grant's mama, Michelle. Michelle's seems pretty easygoing. So Mother Immaculata wasn't real tough. Did you ever get in trouble, Mom?
Oh, no.
Well, just for the record, Mom, neither did I at Vanderbilt. I can promise you.
Yeah, not.
All right, so I want to go to Archie Chesson because he's the parish president of Lafourche, and it's got to be good to see all of these teams in Thibodeau and Lafourche doing pretty well.
Yeah, no doubt, Martin. You know, it pains me a little bit, you know, Trojan graduate from Lafourche.
Man, don't even bring that up. Come on.
A whopping 2 seasons with no wins, so it's good to actually have some sport talent in Lafourche,
exactly.
between all the programs. So, girls, congratulations on what you've done. It's good to see it. And look, that's what we've tried to do in Lafourche, right? And Cody will tell you this from a tourism standpoint, is that we want to be the place people want to live, work, and play, right? And it's not only about the businesses, it's not about post-Hurricane Ida, it's about making sure that our youngsters who are coming up, and look, girls, the offer still stands. Anybody want to be the parish president?
No, I wouldn't take that job, gals. Don't take it.
You can have it now. But that's what it's all about. It's about making sure that these girls can stay here, live and thrive, and hopefully, you know, their kids get to Edie White one day and win another state championship for them. But a lot of cool things coming up in Lafourche. I was talking to Cody. You know, Christmas parades are coming up for us. Thibodeau's is this weekend, 3 o'clock, running through the streets of Thibodeau. Down the Bayou, Galliana, Golameta doing one. The following weekend on the 11th.
Lockport.
And then Lockport is the 18th. And we're going to wrap up the Lockport parade at the new community center, right there in the big curve. Pictures with Santa, movie night for the kids, hot dogs and chili, all kind of fun stuff. So, look, even in a post-Ida world, a lot to be thankful for after Thanksgiving, a lot to looking forward to. And we said this about 2021, right, that we hope to be better, but we're really hoping that 2022 shines for us.
Come on, Archie, it got to be, man.
Going into the break, if you work for parish, you mentioned Parish of Terrebonne is here too, law enforcement, first responders, education. Please stand up. Let's give them a hand going into the break, please. Stand up, guys. We'll be right back.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafourche.
There are many strengths in our cancer center. I think one of the biggest is patients don't have to go elsewhere to get technology for their diagnosis and treatment of their cancer. Our treatment machine, the linear accelerator, allows us to pinpoint and treat cancers with more accuracy than ever was possible before. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center provides leading-edge technology with the highest quality care and the best treatment options unique to each patient.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you got it.
All right, we always get somebody to help us name the corporate sponsor. Why not 2 seniors on the state championship cross-country team at E.D. White? So let's get their names first.
Olivia DeGravo, Emily Smith.
All right, so I want you to put some heart in this and name our corporate sponsors. Here we go.
South Louisiana Bank, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, Alfred and Associates, BioPure.
All right, you were standing right next to BioPure. You better get that one right, okay? Now look, I only caught one little flaw. We're gonna let him correct it. Right after South Louisiana Bank, I want you to go, IE.
IE.
All right, there you go.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna let him sit down because we're coming right back to him. And I'm gonna go to Chuck Bork. He wanted equal time because he took care of Vanderbilt last week with their cross country. So Chuck, equal opportunity. You got another state championship.
That's correct, Martin. The E.D. White girls did an incredible job. They went up to Natchitoches same day as the Vanderbilt girls, and they brought home yet another state championship to the Bayou region. So big round of applause for the girls. They did a really good job, made a real strong showing. So I know you wanted to.
Yeah, while I talk to Coach Reed, get a few comments from him, maybe we can hand the mic and let him come down and introduce himself. Coach, we'll turn over here. Tell me about this team. They look like they're so nice. They're well behaved. Is that deceiving?
No, not at all. It's a great group of girls. Here we have on our state team, we have 2 seniors. We have a junior that couldn't be with us today, 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and an 8th grader. So very broad spread of talent. We came into the season losing 2 big contributors, Abby Marie Ratcliffe, who's at University of Lafayette, running track there right now, and Sydney Siegel. But they sort of set the tradition and the standard, and they really bought into that, these girls. We had a great summer outside of Riley Methvin, who broke her collarbone playing soccer, but she got back with us at the end of the summer. And we started off the season great. We went out to Westgate's meet at New Iberia after being delayed by the storm, and they won the first meet we ran. And the special thing about these girls is that their collective unit, as far as the way they train and race all together in a pack, was outstanding. We had 4 girls finish in the top 10 at the state meet.
Whoa.
Incredible.
Wow. Coach, it sounds like you might be back here next year in that same spot.
That's what we're hoping. we have a lot of strong girls coming back next season, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to get the names, but one more question, Coach. They're all sitting next to Rich Maudie. You think maybe some of that GPA that they have will rub off on Rich a little bit?
We can only hope. They have some really smart girls.
I need a combination of all of their GPAs to get me close.
All right, we're going to come down the line and let my camera crew get ready. We'll start right next to Rich. There we go. We're going to get your names, and let's move it right down the line.
Okay, I'm Olivia DeGravo, Emily Smith, Caroline Molazon, Caroline Dietz, Riley Methvin, Elizabeth Rodrig.
Now look, let's do this. Get a wide shot if we can. How many 8th graders?
Okay. 8th grade, wow.
9th graders.
Wow.
Sophomores. No juniors and 2 seniors, right? Pretty
well, the
impressive.
pressure's on you, Coach.
Our junior could be with us today.
Repeat.
Well, and then the 2 girls, his 2 top runners are both freshmen, if I remember correctly. So,
yes,
the ones that are here. So
that's correct.
Wow.
A lot of good
potential, a lot of experience coming back to next year's team.
All right, there we have it. So, Harry, we're going to kick it to you. Harry's got some more information up here.
Hey, we did have a game around the area. Southeastern was in the playoffs, and they took on FAMU, Florida A&M, and they got off to a great start. They went to a little trickeration. They went to the fake field goal, and they run it in there. There's Nick Kovacs running in for 25 yards there, and they're up to 7-0. Then they piled it on in the second quarter. Cole Kelley, again, was the Walter Payton Award winner last year with a couple of touchdowns here in the first quarter. And they were up by the score of 24-0 at one point. So, yeah, they were on a roll. They went at 38-14, so they'll advance to the next round. Later on the show, we got Grant Chesson and Chris Bezron. Chesson played at, of course he played at E.D. White. That's one of the last teams to make the semifinals back in '82. But He also played at Northwestern University.
He broke
Won in
all your
Natchitoches.
records, Bear.
So we got two quarterbacks from Northwestern in the house.
It's got to be a relative.
I was going to bury it, but I know we'll probably not get any questions.
Well, they should break my records the way they throw this day.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Stan Gravois does a great job covering everything high school-wise, and so he has this football package, and they got one still standing from the Bayou.
It was week 3 of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association football playoffs, and certainly all eyes in the Bayou region were on the 2 semifinal games in Division II. First, let's take a look at the contest between the number 1 seed, E.D. White Cardinals, and the number 5 seed, St. Thomas More Cougars. This game played at Pelche Stadium. St. Thomas More scores first when LSU commit Walker Howard dumps this screen pass off to his running back, Charlie Payton. Payton runs it in from 41 yards out, 7-0 St. Thomas More, but right before half, the Cardinals put together a great offensive drive. They get 3 on the board. Our halftime score, St. Thomas More 7, E.D. White 3. In the second half, E.D. White just wore down St. Thomas More. The Cardinals ran the ball right down the field on their first possession in the third quarter, highlighted by this 32-yard run by Jace Grove. The culmination of the drive was this 1-yard touchdown run by Jeffrey Dietrich. E.D. White takes the lead 10-7. But the Cougars take the lead back at the end of the third quarter. This nice touchdown pass from Walker Howard to Jeff Moncla, 14-10 Cougars. But it was all Cardinals in the fourth quarter. Jeff Dietrich on a touchdown run here. Then it's quarterback Jake Sternfels on the option. Another touchdown for the Cardinals. The home team up 24-10 at this point. And the play that puts it away, this interception by Ethan Lee of a Howard pass. He returns it 46 yards for the touchdown. E.D. White moving on to the state championship in Division II. They defeat the Cougars 31-21. In the other half of the Division II bracket, the number 4 seed Vanderbilt Catholic Terriers had the tough task of taking on the number 2 seed undefeated University Lab. After an early field goal in the game for University High, Brian Beck has these 2 big touchdown runs for the Cubs. They extend the lead. At this point, they're leading it 17-0. And then the University High defense gets into the act. This interception by linebacker Harry Beachman is returned 59 yards for another touchdown, 24-0, the Cubs in the lead. But in the second quarter, the Terriers get right back in it. Cameron Harris on this nice 2-yard touchdown run. And Vanderbilt gets the ball right back. A beautiful pass play from Dominique Archella down to Robert Blanchard, 25 yards. Score now 24-14. But right before halftime, it's Beck again on a nice run. He runs it deep into Vanderbilt territory inside the 5-yard line, doing the honors for University High as a young freshman. 6, Rodeo Graham out of the Wildcat. That puts University High up 31-14 at halftime. And in the second half, the Cubs add 14 more. This, a big touchdown pass from Blake Abney to Eden Stagg. And a terrific year for the Terriers comes to an end. They lose to the powerful Cubs, 45-14. And congratulations to Destrehan in 5A action. They defeat Ruston in round 3. Final score 24-14. The Wildcats will be moving on to 5A semifinal action next week. And unfortunately, Lutcher's season comes to an end. They fall 59-42 to St. Martinville in 3A action. And so, although we do wish Destrehan the best of luck in their big 5A semifinal game against Zachary High School, that's 2 of the blue bloods in high school football in the state of Louisiana, the truth is all eyes in the Bayou region will be on E.D. White. In Lafayette, on the campus of the University of Louisiana at Cajun Field, it'll be the State Division II Championship game, 7 o'clock start time. On Friday, December 10th, the number 1 seed, E.D. White Catholic Cardinals, their first appearance in a state championship game since 1982, will be taking on number 2 seed University Lab. Both teams undefeated on the year. Ought to be one heck of a contest. When looking back at the history of our Bayou Region High School football state champions, there's one thing you can be sure of. Our schools may fight like cats and dogs during the regular season, but when one of our own is shooting for a state championship, we all become community. We'd be remiss not to congratulate H.L. Bourgeois, Ellender, South Lafourche, Assumption, and Vanderbilt Catholic for even getting into the playoffs this year under the most trying of circumstances. Some of those schools didn't even have practice facilities or equipment to practice with for most of this year. After the devastation of Hurricane Ida, E.D. White is not only representing just their school community, they're making all of the Bayou region proud. On behalf of Barker Honda and Terrebonne General Health System, we wish the Cardinals the best of luck. It's been 30 years since our last state championship in football in the Bayou region, and that's just too long.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafourche.
If you have nasal breathing difficulties, snoring, mouth breathing, gritting and grinding of your teeth, TMJ, or headaches during the day, along with fatigue, depression, weight gain, you may have sleep apnea, which can easily be diagnosed via an in-office visit and home sleep study. If you are a loved one or having these symptoms and it's impacting your life, please schedule an appointment with us for an evaluation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou, He's always here. It's Dr. Pat.
Well, thank God for all you coaches and all our teachers and administrators out there. They're the heroes that are forming our kids so that hopefully the world doesn't form them. But anyway, Martin had a point, was that, okay, Bobby and Harry and Martin, it's you're into the finals. Nobody expected you to be there. The other teams are like, who the hell are these guys?
Right.
Ball control teams, we never heard of these guys. Well, yeah, last year seniors may have started, but I'm confident in 10 days y'all going to finish it. I mean, so Bobby, how did y'all approach the situation of being the underdog? And Martin, y'all too.
Well, the thing is, it's like one game. You don't have to win a series, and it could change. It's one game, and you bring your A game in that game. And what I mean by that is that what got you there. And with E.D. White, I was just watching the highlights of the film, how they possess the football. You can have all this talent on the other side. If they don't have the ball, they can't score. The bottom line, possess the football. You could be a machine. You don't have to have these unbelievable ESPN-type highlights. Possess the ball, win the time of possession. Now, you can't turn it over. You see, you cannot turn it over. You possess the football, they can't score, and then all of a sudden you come out a winner. It doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't have to be a highlight reel, but then you're champions.
Right.
Then you're champions. Punch them in the mouth, and just everybody do their job, and not try and be a hero. Right. Just do your damn job, and then we'll be all right. I like the way E.D. White is structured because it's kind of old school. Everybody wants to spread the ball here and there and all that. That's very entertaining, but I want a winner. E.D. White's a winner, and that's what you want to win a championship.
Hey, you mentioned we were the underdog, and we ended up being the underdog. Horton beat us pretty good in the finals. Bobby and them won right down the road, but it still haunts me to this day that we didn't win that game. And I know Harry will feel the same way. You work all year long, you get there, and you come up short. But we played against some men that night.
Bobby Strode.
They had full beers, and we had peach fuzz.
They brought their kids to the game.
Yeah, and so I know I'll let Harry talk, but it still haunts me to this day that we didn't win that game.
Because football's a priority. If you look in the Deep South, Friday Night Lights, well, that's in, the movies in Texas, but that's Louisiana. That's really in the Deep South. Now, it's still in Ohio, where football's a priority. It's not like a PE class. Hell no, it ain't no PE class. You got to win. And it's all about winning, and then you grow as a men when you play a team and you come together and win a championship to be able to celebrate that.
And E.D. White's got 4 guys in the secondary that run, I think, a 4.5, 4.6, but we didn't have that.
Kind of like our secondary. But
it was 30 yards.
No. I tell you what I remember most is that we were the team of destiny all year long. We won so many games right at the end. We'd pick up a fumble, we'd kick a field goal, and we were like, this is just happening. And for us, the Cinderella, it struck midnight. And that team, they got a break early on the end of the first half, and we just never caught up. They beat us 21-0, but I don't know if it was that close.
I think we came close to scoring one time.
But that team of destiny, y'all were like that.
No, let me tell you, we won the state championship and we still weren't ranked in the top 10. We didn't have the media. You had all the yards. They wanted like Bonnebo and Shaw.
I heard the cheer. I heard the cheer all the way at our stadium. I think when y'all won over there in South of Food. And the only advice I was telling, Coach yesterday, is that pace yourself. They got to wait 2 weeks. I think we played the next week. We only had a week to worry about this stuff.
Right.
They got 2 weeks, so
just perfect
take it in and take some deep breaths along the way.
Perfect your craft and be like a machine. That's what you have to look at it.
And I keep hearing about St. Thomas More and U-High. They got a doggone good football team.
They have a great team. There's a reason why they're number one.
Yeah, so they're there for – it's no fluke. They earned it. So there you go, Doc.
So we'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Was your business interrupted by Hurricane Ida? You may be entitled to compensation. Insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All are partnering together to fight for your fair payout. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Bacteria and germs run rampant in the air that surrounds us. It's more important than ever to keep our surroundings clean. Introducing BioPure. Specializing in commercial and residential disinfection applications, BioPure's advanced treatment process allows them to disinfect more surfaces quickly and effectively, with no inconvenience to staff or family members. Let BioPure help you create a better environment for everyone. Call for your free consultation today at 985-322-3003.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou. H, you got it, brother.
We got the coordinators here. Grant Chesson, we talked about him, Bobby. So we'll get to him in Northwestern in a second. Offensive coordinator, and Chris Bergeron, defensive coordinator. So let's talk about, I'm sure y'all been not getting much sun this week. Well, maybe at practice, but y'all been in the film room watching these guys. So let's talk about offense. What are they going to try and do against you guys offensively?
I mean, offensively, they're going to try to run the ball, do what they've done all season, real fast-paced offense, throw the ball vertical and try to jump on you quick.
Yeah, they scored 45 against Vanderbilt. Pretty good defense, too. So I'm sure they got some athletes on that side of it.
Oh, definitely. They have two highly recruited receivers, highly recruited running back, and the offensive line is real good, has real good size.
Yeah, and these guys have been here. They hadn't won since 18. Like, that's a long time, y'all. Yeah. We hadn't won since the 70s. Although, 92, I guess, we played against John Curtis and Reggie Depard and that team in the Superdome in that time. So, Grant, let's talk about you're taking on the defensive side, and that's the one that gets everybody's attention. They talk about 5 D1 prospects on the defensive side. Are they that good?
Oh, absolutely. You put the film on, you just see size everywhere, you see speed. There's a reason they're 12-0, and what I like about this situation is I put on the film, I haven't seen one snap under center that they've seen all year, and we'll probably be the first team they see. So
is that right?
It's absolutely true. And with that kind of talent, last week we put on the film of a lot of upsets, taking on St. Thomas more in that talent, and everybody says if you want to beat the best, you got to play perfect on offense and give your defense a chance, and that's all we can tell them to do.
You don't want to all of a sudden change your game plan just to pull off an upset. There's a reason what you accomplished and how you got there. Isn't that the approach that still, and when you think about it, we say this in NFL or college football, high school football, that turnover battle. You want to protect the football and you want to take it away. I mean, that truly could be a big reason whether you win or lose. Some people don't want to hear that, but you got to protect the football and take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. We had 2 interceptions of Howard Friday night, but we had a chance at 3 more. We had 4 third down stops, a 4th down stop. So all those things eventually added up to us limited them to 21 points when, and I told somebody at the table, it only should have been 7. We really should have beat them 31-7. And then we didn't turn the ball over on offense. We stayed on the sideline a good part of the second half. So that was really big for us.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at the film from the quarterfinals against Parkview, and, we go up 21-3 at half, and second half we get shut out. So what happened? Well, we beat ourselves. We fumbled the ball twice. We got backed up in our own end zone twice. So you said, guys, we got to play our game and just do what we do.
Now these are high school kids, right? So they're excitable, and you got to motivate them. But you almost have to motivate them just to a point, because you got to keep. How do you keep them focused? I guess what's your game plan to keep them focused? Because it goes back to not making mistakes, and they certainly have to be focused during the game. But they got to be pretty excited going into the championship game, right?
I mean, I'm going to speak from the defensive side of the ball. Our guys are so even keel. They've taken on the mentality of we're going to play anybody, anywhere. Let's go. And that's kind of how it was last week. You know, I really wasn't sure how they were going to handle the Walker Howard fiasco, how they were going to handle playing the number 2 quarterback in the nation. And they were just like, Coach, he's a quarterback like everybody else. Let's go pick him off.
Good
okay,
attitude.
let's go, guys. Here we go.
And at the same time, offensively, I said, guys, I don't want to hear one word about the state championship. I don't want to hear one word about U-High or anybody else. I don't even want to hear about the second half of STM. It's got to be one play at a time. It can't be a series, a game. It's got to be one play at a time and take it from there. And they bought into it, and they said, you know what, we're going to trust the process and go.
Guys, you got to do like Bobby's Uncle George did. Promise them days off of school if they win.
Oh, yeah, you win the state championship. You got to talk to whoever's in charge at E.D. White. Would that be the principal or whatever?
Head football coaches in
That
charge.
would be my mom, yeah.
We've tried
okay,
already.
Well, tell
We've
your
tried
mom
already.
if we win the state championship, we have a whole week off or something. And go to school if you want to.
Good luck, guys.
Bobby, I told her if we win state, she's not going to see me for a month.
There you go.
Knock them dead.
Congratulations, guys. We appreciate it, man. Pulling for you. We'll be back to finish it off here on Sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafouche.
Tony Alford and Priscilla Larpenter have been the foundation of what is now Alford & Associates. Their passion and vision have been embedded company-wide. It's not just about insurance. It's about making sure that our community is strong and protected for the next generation.
We analyze and then custom design your insurance policies to fit your business's needs, not the insurance carriers.
It's quite simple. It's the mindset of our organization to protect you from life's hardships.
Your benefits are our business.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Finishing up here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you and Josh finishing
All right,
off.
I wanted to showcase somebody today because Josh's son played quarterback for Nichols from 2000 to 2003. And he was a doggone good quarterback.
That's not why we're here.
No, why we're here is you give back. You learn how to give back. Harvey Sharp's talking to me a while ago. He heard about the flu. I was going around a little bit at E.D. White. Harvey said, Martin, he didn't want me to get up here and talk about it, but he told me he's going to do it. He's going to go spray all of E.D. White's facilities at no charge. Just to keep that. BioPure is going to do that.
That's awesome.
It's about giving back. I'm trying to set that seed. You know, when y'all get up there and start making all that money, you give it back.
That's right.
Josh's son, his company, Bobby, you're going to love this, GIS, brought South Lafouche back to life. And I want him to talk a little bit about that because without GIS, I don't think they have a stadium or facility to play in.
Yeah, so first, not my company. Mark Prejean's company. I just work for the man. I wish it was my company. But, no, great people down the Bayou. Mark Prejean couldn't be here today, so he sent me on behalf of him. And, not only just this year, Martin, but what those kids went through with the pandemic and then trying to get back. They barely had games last year. They had to sit out if they were quarantined and whatnot, and then to go into this year and not have a stadium to play at, not have a home stadium. Mark really kind of took the bull by the horns, and it wasn't just Grand Isle Shipyard. It was, the school board, Mr. Martin, I believe his name is, Principal Sheremy, Coach Young, all those guys. They really rallied around the community and kind of, were able to put the stadium back together to give those young men one more home game and kind of send the seniors off the right way. So, I mean, it's really special to see what they did down there.
And Arch has been saying it's not just the government. We shouldn't just look at the government and say, what are you going to do to get us back on our feet? It takes people in the community.
Yes.
And that's big time.
100%. And in GIS, I think we spent almost $750,000 giving back to the communities. Lafourche, Terrebonne, St. Charles, the New Orleans parishes, river parishes, everywhere we could just help out after the storm. You hear people talk about Bayou Strong, right? I grew up in Plaquemine, Louisiana. I went to high school. I'm actually Parkview Baptist alumni. Went to Nicholls State, and but you don't understand Bayou Strong until you move down here and you live it. And I'm married to a Chabert, so I kind of feel it all the time and see it. But just to see everybody stepping out in the community, Terrebonne, Lafourche, it didn't matter where you were from. A week after the storm, just picking up for whoever. It didn't matter who you voted for. It didn't matter what you looked like. It didn't matter if you had a vaccine card or not, right? Mm-hmm. Just people getting out and helping each other, and that was really inspiring to see. And man, I just worked for blessed to work for such a great company and a great young man in Mark Prejean. So
yeah, Prejeans have always given back. And I wanted the young athletes to see this because Miss Dee Gravel one day might be the next doctor, the next attorney, the next DA, and she's going to be giving back to the community. So sometimes you got to lead by example, and y'all have led by example.
It's about life lessons at the end of the day, right? And I heard some of the guys talking about that today. Sports are what you do. It's not what defines you, right? At the end of the day, you're gonna grow up, have a family, like I do, and you're gonna be trying to raise kids and put them into society and have them contribute and make a difference. So just understand that, the lessons you learn through high school sports is about life lessons too, and man, that goes a long way.
Man, he needs to run for office.
Hey, look, I remember when Josh was carrying the football. Now it seems he's got 3 or 4 kids in his hands. Cody, come see. You're going to bring us to the break. Y'all got to hit his voice, okay? Cody's going to bring us to the break.
We will see you next week for more Sports on the Bayou as we follow Edie White to the state championship. Have a good week.
There you go. Oh.